And then you came back in.
Hmm?
We read it in Revelation. Peace, peace, family, peace, peace. Peace, peace, y'all. Peace, peace. Peace, peace.
Take a moment to pause and ask, why did you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia?
I help others, but I need to help protect myself. Honestly,
So let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are the Scattered Bantu people.
I'm on this land, I trouble no one. My desire is to make no problem with no one. None interference, none political. No matter what you do, I see I'm blind and here and there. I'm an humble African. Passing through Babylon, I'm an humble African. Trouble no one, say I'm an humble.
Everything got to be restored. So we living bad in America. You know, so even if we stay in America, we got to rebuild. Correct. It's just time to come back home and rebuild. This world must be rebuilt. We're not living nowhere in peace. No nation right now is in peace. There's very few nations that are in peace right now. We have to understand this. So this is a time of nation building. Why are we not building? I'm just a humble African with the truth that can't be refuted. That's all I am. That's it. We fight too much. We talk too much. Nobody don't want to do nothing. Everybody want to do this though. Nobody really want to do nothing. That's the few.
You're not Israelites. No.
We not those Israelites. Very, very few. Thoughts of Pan-African. I'm about to say, y'all do that. So we reaching out to our distant relatives, y'all. We've been speaking to Americans for a while. We've been reaching out to our distant relatives. We are the ones that was taken away from our history, our information, our names. And we was taken away as kids. Well, a lot of our forefathers was taken away as kids.
If you're making a to-do list today, make it easy on yourself. Just write down Reese's, then write down eat them.
Equal rights and justice for all. Rise and never fall. Tell them, say, boom. What they gonna do when none of them not true? Say what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think you are? We're living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As bad as you think you are, we're living in a small world.
So, what y'all saying? The biblical scattered people are West Africans. The children of Israel that was scattered, the biblical people are West Africans. That's what everybody's saying. If we not the scattered Ethiopians, if we not the scattered Ethiopians, the Bible comes from West Africa. They're trying to take that narco place. And the fire gets him burned. Everyone knows this, huh? He said everybody know we the scattered Ethiopians, man. I wish somebody would have told me. See, these are the kind of things, if you would have told a generation where they was from, where they can go back to, they would have made more efforts. So instead of me taking trips to go to little cities to party, I could have been going back to Africa. You know, to buy land. Like, that's what, like, going back to Africa make you buy land. Staying in America make you live in an apartment. See the difference? You go back to Africa, you're going to buy land. You stay in America, you might live in an apartment.
Make sure your friends are push out in a barrel. Make sure you make them walk out and borrow. Yeah, make sure your meditation and narrow. Judgment, and one time some girl I want that day will come. When I said and they see all those wicked men in the fire getting burned, that day will come. When they will try to escape and they will be
nowhere to run. Hey, y'all know right now there's nowhere to run. The truth is everywhere. The truth is all over the world. So guess what? There's nowhere to run. No matter what religion you run to, the truth is there.
Hello, hi guys.
Peace, peace.
Um,
Can you cam
so
up?
I just joined. Oh, camera on?
Yeah, please.
Just for like a quick second, and then I can put it back off. I'm kind of in the dark too.
All right. Peace, peace. All right, greetings to you.
Greetings.
Can I turn it off though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I just joined, and I don't know what you mean. We are the scattered Ethiopians. What does that mean? Yeah, he looks Somali. That's what I was saying this whole time.
Well, the scattered, like a lot of people don't understand.
You do
Some
look Ethiopian.
some Americans, a lot come from East Africa, and we don't. That history is not being taught to the world, so we bring in awareness to why certain African Americans is finna return back to Ethiopia, as Ethiopia has always came over here and checked on the African Americans that was sent over here.
Let me tell you, actually, I feel like Ethiopia is the reason why a lot of these European countries were even able to infiltrate East Africa, because one of the first countries in East Africa that was colonized by the French, British, well, it was Italy actually. It was Eritrea, which Ethiopia had given up. And Ethiopia was also inside the Berlin Conference meeting, which led Sudan to be taken over.
I know, but listen, y'all. This before this.
The Burlington didn't start with it.
Yeah, the Burlington didn't start. This is history before that. See, this history lesson was never taught to the Ethiopians. That's there, and this is what we are finding out. We are also learning this from other Ethiopians.
Okay, so which Ethiopians told you?
It's one mic, sis.
History, the true history, let us know that Ethiopians was taken from Ethiopia, original. People like Menelik was sending people over here from Ethiopia to work on railroads. Menelik owned railroads in America. But before Menelik, people was taken from Ethiopia. But if you wasn't never taught these things, you're not aware of it. So we bring an awareness to this to show you why African Americans have right. And also when you deal with the biblical people. The Bible talks about these biblical people. The Bible comes from Africa, Ethiopia. They was going to be scattered, and then they was going to return. They was going to return back to their father's land. That's what's going on right now. The African Americans is going to return back to their original land and restore it. We're not coming to take from Ethiopia. We're coming to actually give fruit to Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is in uproar right now.
Eritrea right now won't even let their own citizens that are born there come back, and they're allowing British and white people to go over there. But I just don't understand. Where did you get this idea of that Ethiopians have been checking up on African Americans and making sure that you guys are good and doing anything to show support? Because,
What did this happen in 1919? In 1919.
Okay, 1919. That is before the Berlin Conference. Okay.
No,
we're not talking
about that. You have to listen. If you don't understand to receive what I have, you first have to listen.
Okay, so what do you want me to understand?
1919, Zatu, which is Menelik's daughter, sent mayors, and a few other people. It was like maybe 5 or 7 people of the hierarchy over to New York, Chicago, on behalf of the African Americans that was over here to actually welcome them back home. You know, so this happened in 1919, 1927, I think 1922. And then after that, that's when Haile Selassie reached out in 1948 and gave us the 500
Do you
acres.
see the comments though? These are East African people. I'm looking at their names, what they're saying to you guys.
Hold up, so for one thing, hold up. This how we gonna do this. Now I see why you didn't want to leave your camera on. Let us see your facial.
No. I will leave my camera on. It's because I'm over here puffing and smoking, and I don't want to get banned for that. So, but I don't have any ill intentions. I really am just trying to understand. I'm sorry if I seem harsh or anything. And I will mute my mic when you're speaking.
Well, the East Africans don't believe that African Americans can be East African. They only think that they can be West African.
Okay,
they don't. Slave trade.
Well, I don't think that. Sorry. I'm from East Africa, and I don't think that. I do think there is some of my people and people from all over Africa have been brought to America, and I don't think most East Africans think like that. I mean, there are a lot of West Africans that we do see.
To focus on the comments when most of some Ethiopians that we've been talking to don't believe that African Americans can be East African. So
that's the argument.
We're not focused on the comments because we know that they don't know. This is why we have this title here.
Okay, so you guys are telling me that Ethiopia sent a couple of their people over to the East Coast, and just so that they can put word that you guys are welcome to Ethiopia. Ethiopia is open to all of their people that were scattered around.
Yeah, because we was taking, for one thing, if people, that's like right now, if I take an African lion, and I take a bunch of African lions, male and female, cubs, and I bring all them cubs to America, and I raise them in America, are they not African lions? Do they not belong in Africa?
African lions. Yeah.
Okay.
They do.
And that's why they called us African Americans. But you know what? Nobody ever told us what part of Africa we come from. That we was never told this. So if we don't know what part of Africa we come from, we can never look back to our culture until we actually find.
Let me tell you, I don't think Ethiopia is the right African continent to accept you, or not continent, country. Like literally, you can go to Sudan. You can go. There's a lot of places that want like real African black people to come because they feel infiltrated and betrayed by, especially one of the countries that East Africa is complaining about is Ethiopia, because you guys are the ones that let these Europeans into our borders to save yourselves, sell us all out. Like, that's what you're not understanding. And they're still doing that today. They're still got military in people's borders. Like there's this group called the Janjaweed. They're allowing, like, they'll go into a different country and claim that, oh no, I am from this country, I'm Arab, because they all look the same, yeah, I'm Arab, I speak Arabic and stuff, but they're really Ethiopians, and they're trying to do an ethnic cleanse to get rid of all the phenotype, big nose, big lip, nappy hair. They're doing ethnic cleanses and things like that you're unaware of.
We're not here to just go to Ethiopia and join the culture that's there. We're here to restore what was taken.
So, I mean, I'm all for y'all take over Ethiopia, but the people that are there right now, I feel like they're all literally just the military, soldiers. They're going through, maybe it's just the mental enslavement, but it's not looking good over there, especially for black people. It's like way worse racism than white people, I feel like. Yeah, on God, they could take over Ethiopia. We would love that. Yeah, no, she does have West African features. He has East African features.
But the thing about what we don't understand is the Bible prophecy lets the world know we gonna return back to Ethiopia to restore the royal
Ethiopia?
priesthood and royal government. And see, I think
E-
that's the part. And then we had a sister come up here yesterday and speak on how Ethiopians really don't know the Bible and don't really and not in tune with the Bible prophecy. So Bible prophecy let you know it's some Africans that's gonna return, and they gonna once they return, they are gonna be the ones that restore and unite the whole African continent. But these would be the biblical people that was taken from East Africa, the
Okay,
ones that
so
it can interpret scripture.
does the Bible
Huh?
specifically say does the Bible specifically say where Ethiopia is? Because I'm first of all, I'm not a hater to Ethiopians. Like, no, I'm just speaking my truth. And I want to say that all of Africa used to be considered Ethiopia and called Ethiopia. And even before then, like, I feel like majority of East Africa was called Ethiopia before a bunch of the splitting happened. I'm from Somalia. I'm from the neighboring country of Ethiopia. And I feel like they betrayed my country as well. My country has
Well, you
been
got
through genocide from multiple different European countries.
okay, but you got to also understand that it wasn't no Somali in the 1800s. Them people didn't call that Somali. So
Yeah,
Ethiopia
we were
wasn't even
all
called
just called
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
But Ethiopia wasn't even called Ethiopia in the early 1900s. So how can the whole Earth Africa be called Ethiopia when Ethiopia wasn't even called Ethiopia in the early 1900s? It was called Abyssinia. Then
Abyssinia. Yeah.
it was called Queen of Abyssinia. Then it was called Magdala, and then like I say, they had other names like parts of
But
Somali was
basically,
called.
yeah,
So
but basically
yeah,
you get
so
my point. So, but now you're saying
but
the
no,
Bible
but no, we only using these names so we can understand what we talking about. If I was to come up here and say Magdala
So can we
to
just
my
so
people in
we're
America,
talking about so we're
say
talking about all of East Africa?
Ethiopia,
Can you
yeah,
clarify
for
where
one
we're
thing,
talking about
yeah,
when we say Ethiopia?
yes, but that's why
We
I have to
said
say
East
Ethiopia.
Africa.
I have to say Ethiopia because if I don't, people don't really know what I'm talking about. If I say East Africa, people will be like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" So I
What
just
part of East Africa? So, like,
Ethiopia is a part of
whatever
East
we say
Africa.
is not going to be,
Okay.
satisfied to you. That's why we're to have the conversation.
Okay.
But we
Well,
have
I feel like
understanding of
you
the name.
guys are welcome in East Africa, but they're going through their own horrible mental enslavement where even within themselves, they could be Ethiopian versus
All of Africa.
Ethiopian, Somali versus Somali. They're still going through their own mental enslavement of, oh, the lighter your skin is, the finer your hair is, the thinner your nose is, you are better and you are superior. They're still going through that. So I don't know how we're ever going to stop this and change this. I grew up in America from the ages of 5. I grew up around a lot of African Americans. I've been treated like an African American immigrant all my life. So I understand compared to when I speak to my elders and my parents who are like, no, you're not. You're not a nigga. So
So where
I
you
don't know.
so where you living now? You living in America?
Yeah, currently I am in America. I'm in the West Coast.
Oh yeah, you was okay. So you I thought you was in Somalia.
No, I'm not. I'm not there. But I love to hear you guys' ideology and thinking. And I feel like it's great. Like we do need more of our African people to come back there. And how we need, bro, we're one of the most behind countries in the entire world. Like, and that's for a reason, even though our country is filthy rich with resources and very important goals, like a lot of important trades wouldn't even happen if it wasn't for our gulfs and water. So I feel like we do need that type of establishment and people that are mentally out of the enslavement and know what the fuck they want to do and for their nations to come over there and teach and like just grow out of this. Honestly, it is so like internally painful, a lot of the shit that I see and hear, even in these comments, bro. It's crazy. But I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I'd like to learn more from you guys. I'm going to come down, though.
All
All
right,
right,
all
peace,
right.
sis.
Thank you,
Salute to you.
guys.
Let me see.
I don't think you can do it on that account.
I can't even see. Like, block me. So yeah, y'all. Like I say, we just bringing awareness to our people, y'all, to let them know what's really at hand. The things that was never told to us. You know, like I say, telling us we African Americans and not telling us what part. You know, it's almost worse than this. You might as well just call us Americans, because we'll never find out what nothing. You know, so what's up, brother man?
Oh, I was eating. I got a mouthful of food. Sorry.
Did
you have a question?
Yeah, cause we want to let people up at, one at a time.
Okay.
So real.
What's up?
Cam up. Greetings to you.
How you doing?
What's up?
Are you guys from America?
Yes.
Okay, and you believe that you are Ethiopian? So do you believe that
Correct.
we are Ethiopian?
I wouldn't say all of us, but a lot of African Americans, yeah, they come from East Africa. You know, whether it be Kenya, whether it be Ethiopia, Somalia, you know, all that, Sudan, all that was our territory over there. The
Mm-hmm.
whole, you know, when you really talk about East Africa, that's where majority of African Americans, you know, come from.
Mm-hmm. Just East Africa alone.
Yeah, just East Africa alone. Yeah.
I could agree with that to a certain extent, but that doesn't make them Ethiopian, though, right?
Yeah, that's why I say Ethiopia is a modern day term. Like these imaginary
Right.
lines that was
Right.
just
Because
put there.
wouldn't Ethiopia be considered Kush?
That's what I'm saying. So you can say Kush. So the language always change. So when you say Kush, Kemet,
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia, you know, you saying the same thing. You're not really going to different places. You going to that East Africa. You
So do
know,
you
but
believe? So so basically you're just using the term Ethiopia, right? But really you just mean East Africa.
yeah, it's almost like saying United States, but I say I'm from Washington D.C.
Correct.
because DC is where the government and the politicians gonna be at.
Right.
You gonna have us we gonna be all through United States, but mainly right now, most black people are really on the East Coast and the South in the United States. You know, now we are everywhere, but when you deal with the East Coast and the South, that's where, you know, you can say majority of us are at. You know, but so when I speak of Ethiopia, Ethiopia was the government part of the region where these
Well, I
scriptures
do
come from.
believe I do
All
believe
this
that
God. Yeah.
African Americans fled. A lot of them were taken from East Africa. I do believe that in the um, sub-Saharan slave trade. And I do believe that those who weren't captured in that slave trade fled to West Africa. I can understand that, but so isn't Israel in East Africa, Northeast?
Well, yeah, but see, correct, but it's northeast. That's Israel is not really the sub-Sahara.
Right. Well, no, we know that they
And,
left. Originally, they left Israel, fled Israel, and went into all of Africa, including east and west. You know, we know that they were scattered from that continent. Period, all over the earth. Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Britain. Yeah. So
I guess I would just be careful. I wouldn't, So you're not tying yourself to the Ethiopians, the actual people of Ethiopia, are you?
yeah.
Okay. Do you have your so do you believe in the scriptures?
Yes, that's why I said
So
I
what
don't
Bible
believe in.
do you
I don't
subscribe to
believe.
the King James?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I believe in the writings,
Okay,
but
so
the
let's go to
interpretation.
I got you. Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 2. Go there for me real quick.
I know you're right, and
I,
I
I
know
would
what
like to
you're
hear
going
your
to.
breakdown on this. I would like to hear your breakdown. This is all I'm asking. So go ahead and turn with me to Zephaniah chapter 2. And I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I already know what you're about to read about the Ethiopian.
What about them?
Zephaniah
Chapter 2.
and what?
Chapter 2, you can start at verse 11. You could
And
even
read.
start at 10 if you like. 10 to 12.
It says, "This shall they have for their pride,
Mm-hmm.
because they reapproach and
Mm-hmm.
magnify themselves against the Lord, against
Against
the
the
people,
people.
Lord hosts." Huh?
Uh-huh. Okay, so these people have magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. Okay, go ahead.
The Lord will be terrible unto them,
Mm-hmm.
for he will all the gods of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and men shall worship him,
Mm-hmm.
everyone from his place,
Mm-hmm.
even the of the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Ye Ethiopians also shall be slain by my sword.
Ethiopians shall also be slain by my sword. So it's it's clear as day right here that
Hold
the
on, brother.
Ethiopians are
Hold
considered uh
on, brother.
uh
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
You didn't even come up, bro.
Yeah, you supposed to come up anyway. Then
So calm down and let us speak, please.
so that's why I was finna get into the part of I believe the scriptures, but what I do know, man is not qualified to interpret it. So Ethiopian mean burnt face, which is why that's what I'm saying, brother. You told me to break it down. You know, for me to you told me to read it, you told me to break it down. So you gotta let me break it down. Like the Ethiopians a modern day term. It actually means burnt face. So the sword gonna be in the prophet's mouth. And anybody who transgress against the Lord of hosts and those that be with him will get the sword. You know, that's why I say you will be cast out to outer darkness. So this not talking about Ethiopia as a ancient people, because nobody called themselves Ethiopians, man. You know, so this is talking about the burnt face, the blackness, you
all
know,
right.
but most people saying that because the sword is in the prophet's mouth.
Israel was gonna be slain too.
You know, Israel was gonna be slain with the sword. We didn't say Israel would be slain by the sword. What does that mean? You know, it's the same thing, but like I said, it's more connected to the mind frames of the people rather than we go and look on the map. You know,
That wasn't created by
yeah, like nobody in the Bible put Ethiopia on the map. So these writings are dealing with people mind frames who of this priesthood. You know, and
Um,
then I got one more verse I want to share. It
no
says,
doubt.
"O children of Israel, are you not like the Ethiopians unto me?" Have you ever read that scripture?
Pull it up.
Okay. What is it?
Cushi
Let's see.
is the
Amos 9.
Hebrew word, right?
Go to Amos 9 and 7.
Amos 9 and 7.
It says, "Are ye not as the children of Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, saith the Lord." So it's showing you how you reject God just like the mind frame of an Ethiopian, the mind frame of somebody that's blackface. You know, you in darkness. So it's just how the children of Israel is. So, like I said, this word Ethiopian really means blackface. That's why we didn't call ourselves Ethiopians in the 1800s. We didn't call ourselves Ethiopians in the early 1900s. Haile Selassie's wife is Queen of Abyssinia. She's not the Queen of Ethiopia. You know, so this ain't showing you Ethiopia is not just a modern day word when we look on the map and we say, oh, that's Ethiopia. scriptures, don't have that it don't line up like that with scripture. Oh, we can't hear you. Your mic muted. We can't hear you.
How about now?
I think you're covering your mic.
I don't know. You might be covering your mic.
There you go.
Well, I unmuted it. How about now? You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I agree as far as the term, using the terms that people understand, right? When you said that, you said you're using the Ethiopian term, because if you call it something else, people will be like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
So I understand that, right? So even using it in the term that we see, it still doesn't take away from what's being said. Even as he speaks here in Amos 9:7, are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me? Right? He didn't say like, it says, are ye not as children of the Ethiopians to me, O children of Israel? Right? So I mean, I can get your understanding to a certain degree.
That's why I say, like, Ethiopian has a meaning. That's like Israel really got a meaning. Israel is not a place on the map. You see what I'm saying? Israel has a meaning. It has to do with a group of people. So Ethiopians is also a mind frame that deals with a group of people. That's why I say all Israel, not Israel.
Correct. King Herod was the king of Israel, but we know he was not of Israel. So I understand that. Yes.
Yeah. Same thing with Jerusalem. Jerusalem don't go on the map. Jerusalem is a mind frame. But they got us thinking Jerusalem on the map. But the scripture lets you know where it's coming from. It's coming from above. So why are we going to Jerusalem when the whole prophecy is about what? The new one coming from above.
Correct.
All this is the lie to play games with our minds and throw us off from the holy teaching, because these are holy teachings. These are not stories that we read and follow history. These are holy teachings about the last days. And we don't read it that way. We get caught up with the story, and that's the lie. That's when it becomes the lie. The story, the teaching of the story is what's true. And the story is the lie. These are the mysteries of the Bible.
I can understand that as well. I'm with you on that. So do you believe in prophecy as far as we won't return on our own accord? I mean, we can, right? But it doesn't fulfill prophecy if we do it on our own.
Wise man. Now, what you just said, man, I don't know, but that's why we have something a little bit different. Now, if I was coming from the place of a pastor, if I was coming to the place of a bishop, then I'd be convicted with what words you said. That's why I say the battle is not ours, it's the Lord. But the Lord is not a deity. The Lord is just a quarterback. Because if you want to be a wide receiver with no quarterback, and you ain't got nobody to throw you the ball, so what you gonna run for? So we gotta wait till our quarterback come, which is our Lord, which is our Christ, not no deity coming from the sky, but just an anointed vessel, a chief. Once we find that chief, then we can get the ball. Then we can get the play. Then we know what team we gotta join. Then we can go back home. We done found our quarterback. So we got stuff moving. We're not just saying this based off. We just trying to do this on our own. No, the prophecy is here. The spirit of truth is here. We are unifying around that spirit of truth. So we have our quarterback, man. So that's the standpoint we coming from. We're not just, trying to run away from America. This is something that's going to be shown to the world.
Now, when you say we have our quarterback, are you saying he's here now?
Correct. Right now, speak. As in the days of Noah, we'll be in the days of what?
Drinking and being merry.
You know?
Partying.
So, you see what I'm saying? All this, so, and they got us thinking, oh, the sky gonna crack. When that's not the prophecy. We gonna be living life, and then the truth gonna hit you. Oh shit, it's time to go. Yeah, but most people gonna reject it like they did Noah.
So you equating that to a spiritual thing, not a actual physical thing?
Well, no, that's why I say, as in the days of Noah, will be the days of the Son of Man. So it's gonna be a Son of Man on earth, just like Noah. He gonna have information. The information he gonna have is gonna get you on God's ship. See, right now we on the devil boat. We deceived. We don't know the truth. When we get on God's ship, we gonna know the truth. We gonna be secure. We gonna be saved from all the lies. That's all that really represents. That's a teaching to show you how God gonna redeem us in a parable story. You know, it's not a literal boat. So, you know, that's why I say these things are actually happening in reality. You know, and that's why right now, what we are doing right now, we are building. But we ain't got no hammer, or screwdrivers or drills. You see what I'm saying? So it's sometimes we take these words and we want to put them in really reality when they are reality, but they are spiritual. So spiritual building is two people having a conversation, building foundation to agree upon. That's building.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? And you know, so right now, man, you know, these things are literally happening in the earth. You know, in the earth.
Yeah. Well, man, I would like to talk to you more, man. We can get some one-on-one time to really get a real breakdown from you. So I definitely followed you. I follow you guys. Hope you follow me back, and I will inbox you my info so we could definitely chop it up.
All right, we followed you too.
So
appreciate that.
I get where you're coming from. I got an ear to hear. Yeah. All right, you guys hold it down. You know, keep going.
Peace, peace.
Salute to you, bro. Definitely send me that information, man.
Got you.
And that's how they looked when they hear the truth. Did you see him? Yeah. After he got, he started rubbing his forehead, pushed his head back, and said, "Holy smoke! God, dog." Now, one at a time. That's all we get. One at a time. That was good for them Somalians to see this too. Yeah. Whoever. Mm-hmm.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You got a cam up, though. We can hear you.
Okay. So the flag that you posted at your back.
You got a cam up, brother,
Can
man.
you tell me about it?
Yeah, after you cam up. We got other people waiting, brother, man. So if you can't cam up, we're gonna move further in the queue.
Your question. Go to Ethiopia. Yeah, I'm just asking. Oh,
Let's get him on. Okay, give old boy a chance.
That's me.
What's up? What's up? You got a cam up, brother, man.
something like. I hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Just can't see you.
So, okay, so what happened in 1800s in Ethiopia? I have to hear this one. With Tedros.
I can't hear you. You low.
I think you're covering your mic.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was watching you guys live yesterday, talking about, you guys sent some like false information about Mandela, about Albert Tedros, his kid, and kidnapped.
You got bad reception. Hey, you got bad reception, brother.
People no Tedros' son himself too. He was never brought with anybody to London, and then he didn't have a descendant. I think I already told you guys this one.
Hey, we can't. Hey, brother, man, we can't really hear you.
The
But hey, you got
y'all can't
bad.
hear me?
I think what the brother is saying, he is speaking on the Tedros story. Now he is trying to pinpoint. We only use Tedros' story and what happened to his son to show you how people was taken away. If you able to take an emperor son, if you able to
Okay.
take a prince,
What name another time
brother, can you just pause for a second?
was Scattered?
Hey, brother, man, your service is real bad, and you going in and out. So
We gonna mute you and because he
Tell me that.
service right now.
Wait,
no, we can't hear you, man. So basically, if they was able to take a prince son and burn Magdala, you know, and this thing about it, they took Tedros' wife. They say she died on the way, and they took his son. Now we wasn't going into detail of the video of what happened to the son and all that. We were just showing the Ethiopians where people was taken away way before the 1900s, and if people was taken away in the early 1800s, in the late 1800s. Hold up, brother man. You have to.
It's one mic, man.
Brother, you ever heard of one? Every time you come on here, we finna move on because every time you come on here, people don't know how to act. You don't know how to conduct yourself in somebody else's house. If somebody is talking, it's rude for you to speak. We shouldn't have to tell grown people this. You know. So basically, we got to understand that if you were able to take a prince and a king wife away, then more other people was taken away. And history proved this, which is why Ethiopia was reaching out to the Africans that was a part of the slave trade. But a lot of people don't understand slavery means work. So even King Menelik was sending people over here to work on railroads. You know, so when people talk about these things like Ethiopians ain't already over here in America. Before you come over here on the plane. Before you come over here on the plane as an Ethiopian, you got Ethiopians already over here. People are like we woke up and created the clause that Ethiopians gave us free land. Come on, man. This is showing you the mind frame of our people. We coming to restore, rebuild, bring resources. You know, And they mad at us. They mad at us, but it's just like over here. We came to our brothers and sisters over here in America, and they got mad. Same thing happened to David. David came to his brothers, man, like, I want to fight the giant. They got mad at David. Don't you know David's brothers got mad at David because David said he wanted to defeat the giant? Like, do we know these prophecies or these? We know about these allegory teachings. But David's brothers got mad at him when David said, I can beat the giant. Man. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Salute.
Salute. How you doing, my brother? How you all doing?
Peace.
I'm good.
So far, I'm trying to understand what's going on here.
According to what?
I'm trying to understand the whole thing because I want to understand. Are you trying to we're the Scattered Ethiopians? I just want to understand the whole history. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm a Rastaman all the way from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa.
Well, Ethiopians were scattered in the 1800s and the early 1900s. Before a lot of people who was born in the 80s, 90s, 70s knew about. So these 70s, 80s, and 90s babies of Ethiopia know nothing about the scattered Ethiopians.
What do you mean scattered
that was
Ethiopians?
taken away, as boys and girls. So my ancestors was taken away from Ethiopia. And this not taught the Ethiopians. So now, it's just like Bible prophecy let you know. The house of David, the royal children, are in captivity. According to the Bible, according to prophecy, David, the house of David, which is the solomonic dynasty, these people are in captivity. They must wake up to their true identity and return back home to restore the royal priesthood. That's what this is.
But Ethiopia was never scattered, though.
That's not true.
Well, it's true because I studied history. Ethiopia was never scattered.
Brother, why you think?
When you trying to say Ethiopia?
Let me say this. Hey, why you think Ethiopians don't look like Menelik no more? Menelik don't look like.
I look like Menelik.
No, you don't.
Well, have you ever seen Menelik?
Have you ever seen Menelik?
I've got his picture. I met his granddaughter here in London 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's not Menelik. I say Menelik don't look like you.
Menelik look like me. Which Menelik, my brother? Which Menelik are you talking about?
Menelik that was on the throne that died in 1911.
No, we got two Menelik in Ethiopian history. Which Menelik are you talking about?
I'm talking about the one that was sitting on the throne before Haile Selassie.
Yeah, that was in 1890. That was in 1882.
You talking about this Menelik?
Yeah, that's Menelik the second in Ethiopian history.
Okay.
You don't look like that Menelik.
My brother, this Menelik was a king of Ethiopia. He was the second Menelik. The first Menelik was the son of King Solomon and Queen of Sheba.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. This Menelik that I just showed you, he looked just like me. He don't look like you. This is the original Ethiopian.
That's not a problem. So what's the problem?
The problem is you saying that the Ethiopians haven't been scattered. That's the problem.
No, we were never scattered. What I'm trying to say is we were never scattered, and his granddaughter lives in Germany.
So wait, so why did Haile Selassie ask for African Americans to come help him come back to Ethiopia?
No, African Americans came to help. African Americans came to help Ethiopia willingly during the Second World War when we were fighting Italy.
Hey, we talking about before that. We talking about before the World War.
I'm cool to talk about Ethiopian history, but we gotta listen to each other. So you gotta understand Ethiopian history before you talk. So African Americans came to Ethiopia. Listen, African Americans came to help Haile Selassie during the Second World War when Italy come and conquer Ethiopia.
But what was the reason why he asked African Americans?
He
Because he
did
could
not
have.
ask. He didn't ask. They voluntarily came to help Haile Selassie.
Okay, but why did he only ask the African Americans? Why he didn't ask nobody else?
Mexicans came to help Haile Selassie. Black Americans came to help Haile Selassie. Somalis came to help Haile Selassie. Yeah. So they came to help Haile Selassie willingly. Not he didn't ask for any. He didn't ask for help. Jamaicans came to help Haile Selassie.
Brother, this is what you're not understanding though. When you go back to the 1800s, Ethiopians
let's put in numbers. Let's put in numbers.
When you go back to the 1800s, Ethiopians was taken away from Ethiopia and East Africa.
No, what's your evidence?
Tedros' son, which was a prince.
Prince Alemayehu.
Why was he taken? Listen, if people wasn't being taken, why didn't he stay in Ethiopia?
Because he was taken.
So you're saying no Ethiopians no Ethiopians have
try to read this book, yeah?
Man, Ethiopians live all over the world.
We're not talking about the book.
Look.
I want you to understand. Okay, I want you to understand.
Hold on. This is what you gotta answer the question. I want you to answer this question. If people wasn't taken from Ethiopia, why was a prince taken?
Get this book.
No, brother, listen. I'm asking you a question.
I want you to understand the real history. Prince Alemayehu. Listen, I'm telling you, the son of Emperor Theodros, Prince Alemayehu.
Listen, brother. If we wanted you to come up here and teach us, we would have came on your panel. We let you up here so we could have a conversation. Now, you can get your information out based off the questions we ask you. Then if you got the true history, you could be able to answer these questions. That's all we saying. If you a true teacher, then you could point me in the right direction with your lips. So if you can't answer the question and engage in the conversation, we're going to move on. So I'm going to unmute you so you can answer this question. So, why was a prince taken in 1868 if people wasn't taken from Ethiopia?
Did we answer that?
Yeah, answer.
So that was in the Battle of Magdala. Yeah. So when General Napi came to Ethiopia, General Napi, an Indian soldier, he was actually had 20,000 Indian soldiers. He came to Ethiopia. He actually took the prince because when they came to Ethiopia, Emperor Tewodros committed suicide so that the country wouldn't be colonized. So this guy, the prince, was 6 years old. They brought him to the UK. They adopted him, but nobody was taken away from Ethiopia. This guy was 6 years old. Prince Alemayehu came to London by the time of Queen Victoria. He came to the UK. They adopted him. He grew up. He was not taken away from his wife. Was not taken away. His mother was not taken away. Nobody wasn't taken away. But because they had to prove to the queen, they had to prove. You asking me a question? Let me answer it. So when they brought Prince Alemayehu to England, General Napier had to prove that Emperor Tewodros committed suicide, and they had to prove to Queen Victoria that he was dead.
Now, brother man, no, he never answered the question.
You can't.
Brother man,
my brother, you asked me a question, yeah?
Listen, brother, we know.
So the battle of Adwa took place in Ethiopia, and they had to prove.
Hey, come. Because see, this is what I hate about people who say they're so wise. All I asked you to do was answer the question. I know what happened.
I answered the question, but
you telling me what happened. Brother, I know what happened. I already know. Hey, we see, bro, like I say, we got other people in the queue, brother, so we're not going to play games All I asked you was, why was a prince
What you're
taken?
trying to say, my brother. Listen, my brother. Let me tell you this.
Yeah. You're not. Y'all, if y'all think y'all coming up here, we coming up here to have a conversation. We're not letting you up for you to become a teacher. If you want to be a teacher, just make you a panel, like we did, and teach what you know. But if you're gonna come up here, you're gonna have a conversation with us. Just like we're not gonna set you down on here and we just gonna teach you. We know what happened. I clearly asked the brother, why was a prince taken? A prince and a queen taken if regular people wasn't taken to a whole nother place where it get cold at. He ain't even from England. Why he couldn't stay in Ethiopia? So if a prince and a queen was taken, gold, artifacts, manuscripts, if all this stuff was taken, you think you're not going to take people with them? So you think nobody went with them when they took all the gold, all the manuscripts, all the artifacts, all the biblical scripts and writings? They didn't take no people. Well, they showing you, but they going to name the prince they took. They not going to name the other people they took. They might not even know their name. What's your name? Bulak. Who cares? The prince was very significant. The son of a king was taken. So this is proof also that Ethiopians was taken. He was an original Ethiopian. Now, we're not saying we descend from Tedros, because Tedros wasn't the only Ethiopian taken. His son wasn't the only Ethiopian taken. We just bringing this to prove people was taken. So Ethiopians maybe can open their mind to see, oh, you know what? They do got some people over here that was a part of the slave trade that's from Ethiopia. And for people to say Ethiopians look like the modern Ethiopians, y'all ever seen Shaka, what's his name?
Shaka Zulu.
Shaka Zulu? He was an East African. He was an East African. It wasn't no lines in Shaka Zulu time. It was mountain, hills, and chiefs. That brother gonna say Ethiopian. Menelik was the original Ethiopian. He don't look nothing like. But we not Ethiopians. No. Come on, man. Well, greetings. You got a cam up.
What's up, family? How y'all doing?
All right, peace.
Peace and love. I appreciate the convo y'all having. I wish y'all could read some of the comments being written in the Ethiopian language. A lot of people don't agree with what y'all saying. Mostly because Ethiopians are a proud people, and being scattered or being enslaved is not something that we are, we like to accept. Slavery was all over the place. And I agree with you that some people were taken and scattered. And some Ethiopians left Ethiopia willingly and kind of went all over the world, just like other Africans. Slavery or black people just didn't come from West Africa, in my opinion. They came from all over Africa and kind of filled the world. I apologize. I'm in a place where a lot of noise. But having this conversation, I feel is good, because through conversation and through discussions, we can come to an understanding that all black people are one. And to your question of Prince Alamayo being taken and him being, I guess, doesn't necessarily prove that other people were also taken. Ethiopia, where the colonization came to Ethiopia a few times. And because of the unity of Ethiopia, because Menelik united all the tribes of Ethiopia, they were defeated. And he used spirituality as well as weaponry to defeat the colonizers. And that gives Ethiopians a lot of pride. And it makes it very difficult to accept anything like being scattered or being enslaved. But I do agree with you that, black people came from all over Africa. And I appreciate the conversation. I just wanted to say that I have no disagreement with what you're saying. You have your understanding, and other people have their understanding. But to a lot of Ethiopians, what you're saying right now is not something that we're willing to accept, only because the history is a little bit different. Um,
But
and and,
you understand,
and
but
you're right, and that's really all I wanted to say for real. I'm not here to disagree with you or have a
yeah, it's
you know.
yeah. And I definitely understand what people. That's why it's a conversation, and that's why we have an open panel about it. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like we not coming on here just teaching this solely. We just bringing realization and facts because, like I say, I never imagined once people find out where they come from and they tell people where they come from, and people over here that don't know where we come from tell us we not from there. That's the mind blowing part. You see what
That's
I'm
why
saying? And
supremacy
then
at work
we
for
get
you.
to talking about, and then that's why we get to talk about certain history, and they over here and they don't know nothing about the history, and they living in Ethiopia. You see what I'm saying? These are the people that's disagreeing with us. But we also got Ethiopians who that agree. It's a lot of African Americans that's against us, and they living
Yeah,
around us right now.
I agree
But
with you, man.
so
And, black people have been divided. That's the work of white supremacy. They all want you to
yeah,
kind of have your own corner and different ideas. Right now, the whole war against African Americans, and Black Americans, and African Black Africans, it's crazy to me. It's only thing it does is make white people even more supreme. But the unity of Black people, no matter which side of Africa you come from, scares white supremacy, and I think we should kind of gear that conversation towards that. You know what I mean? Like, find a way to unite all Black people instead of saying, "Yo, you from there, you not this." And what you were saying about the other guy not looking like Menelik, like all Ethiopians don't look alike. Tedros don't look like Menelik. The King Tedros don't look nothing like Menelik, and Menelik don't look nothing like Haile Selassie. But they're all Ethiopians.
but yeah,
And
that's what I'm
Ethiopia,
saying. But I let him know why that's where my ancestors come from. Because he was trying to tell me that's where I'm from. So for him to tell
I
me
don't
that's
doubt
what
where your ancestors come from.
but
You
that's
know,
what I'm saying. So I used the picture to let him know what I look like.
yeah.
That's why I used the picture.
Honestly,
It
you
wasn't
got
to take
all the features of
but
Ethiopians for real. Like if I seen you on the street, I might say what's up to you in my native tongue. Honestly, you definitely look like an Ethiopian. But at the same time, not all Ethiopians look alike. Like everybody's kind of different. And
well yeah.
Not one feature to Ethiopia.
Yeah, we wasn't saying these things. Like I said, I was just bringing that to him because he
right.
had like he did. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like he was. So that's why I brought that picture up. Because like I say, once you look at King Wallow, once you look at all the ancient kings, they look. They even Haile Selassie father. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at these ancient chiefs, they resemble Shaka Zulu. All these people, they have a certain resemblance. Not saying because that's what I see happen in Ethiopia as they try to do to America. Take the Negro away. So when it comes to the true original Negro features, they trying to take that away from Ethiopia.
But
Now it's an Indian look, long hair. No, we let's get back to the original, so the original can't be taken away. I'm not trying to take away. I'm just trying to bring the facts back that the world don't want to deal with because, as you said, when Tedros' son was taken, that was a part of colonizing, and that was in 1868. You see what I'm saying? We ain't talking about before that. So you have many stages of where people say Ethiopia ain't been colonized. Ethiopia still haven't got the treasures back from Great Britain. All
yeah,
that
there's a lot
gold,
of
all
artifacts that were taken. Yeah, you're right.
you
So
see what I'm
a
saying?
lot of it has come back. And there's still a lot of fights to
Oh
bring a
no,
lot of
not a
that
lot
stuff
of it.
back.
A little bit came back. A little bit. Not a lot. So when we say stuff like that, man, so right now I have a petition to judge the Roman Catholic Church to get these things sent back to Ethiopia.
Okay.
To actually bring the throne of David back to Ethiopia. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not just a man that's running Ethiopia to suck Ethiopia dry. You know, I'm coming to help unite and set stuff back in order.
Okay.
You
Where
see
can
what I'm
I
saying?
get that?
So,
Like online? Ching.it. Okay.
yeah, change.org.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna look that up. And just one last thing, man. Melanin comes in all shades, so I don't think they could take that away from anybody. I'm light skinned, but my melanin is still here in my heart. You feel me? I don't think my Negro has been taken away from me because of the shade of my skin. Um, it's how I think. It's what I feel. It's in my DNA, and nothing gonna take that away from me. Right now, like a lot of African Americans tell me I can't even claim to be black, but black is all I know. Like that's me all day, every day. Um, So one last thing, melanin come in all shades.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, you're right, bro. But you got to think about it. And I'm not saying this in a way to create division. I'm just talking about facts. A
Yeah, that's
pure breed
what I want to
is
stay away.
always
Is that
better.
that division
A
is what
pure
bothers
breed,
me.
a pure breed is always better than a mix. This facts. This life. This not feelings. These not emotions. This not none of what we try to put in the truth. Now, I love all my black people. I love everybody. I don't have no quarrels with a certain person. Because if you think a certain way, you my enemy, whether you black, Chinese, or whatever. White, whatever. If you think a certain way, you my enemy. Even when it comes to my own people. But a pure breed. And this is what the colonizers have done. Take the pure breed away. Guess
Yeah,
what?
man. Even religion has been
Guess what you
whitewashed.
take a pure breed away? They can ride the backs of the people. Because right now, you can't ride a zebra. You ever seen somebody on a zebra? No. Because it's a pure horse. But you know how they ride horses? They mix them. They mix breed them. Once they mix breed them, they can be broken.
Okay.
See, how you colonize. And so when people talking about colonizing, this is the truth we have to accept. So it's a lot of pure breeds that was taken from East Africa. This is facts. That's why the king's son was taken, to show you if you had any kind of king status, you had to go, because they feared you to rise up and what? Reclaim what's yours. So if I take you away, it might be hard for you to rise up. You don't know.
I feel we got a lot to teach each other, so I'm gonna keep on listening and learning from y'all.
Brother,
Peace.
salute
Yeah,
for the
peace.
Peace.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
We're
All
good.
right, peace.
So, I just had a couple questions.
Got
Can you this though?
I've just been hearing about like some of the things that y'all were saying, and I could understand how like certain history, certain inconsistencies
Upset
could be.
though. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can you cam up?
Oh God. Okay.
You don't gotta do it for the whole time. Just, make sure you're a real person. Hello.
So I could understand how like certain histories and certain I guess certain things can be misconstrued and taken a different way. I think that's the same for cultures across Africa. Some of our history has been erased, some of our history has been burned, some of our history has been stolen, some of our history has even been rewritten. So, but I just feel like as far as the current attitude towards the transatlantic slave trade that current Ethiopians have, a lot of us aren't taught our true history. But again, that goes the same for cultures across the world. In America, they're trying to teach people that like slavery wasn't even that bad. And I just feel like maybe you guys are taking certain like certain truths, like you're taking a truth, right? Like for example, the prince that was stolen from America and then from Ethiopia and then given to Queen Victoria. that you're taking like that truth, which is definitely a truth, it's a fact, and then kind of like running with it and kind of making your own reality, just because maybe you guys fit a certain phenotype, maybe you've been told that you look Ethiopian in your life, which you guys do, you guys definitely have the phenotype, but I don't know, it's just kind of like a hard sell when, according to like even like transatlantic slave records, slaves weren't taken from Ethiopia, and that's just solid facts. Like I can't speak for the people who willingly left Ethiopia and went across the world, but like the fact on the ground, the fact on the table, the undeniable fact is that like even in the transatlantic slave records, there were no slaves taken from Ethiopia.
Sus. The facts is, Menelik, do you know Menelik sent people to America?
Menelik the first or the second? I think you guys were talking about
Yeah, I'm talking
Menelik the
about
second.
Menelik the second, the emperor in the late 1800s and 1900s.
Okay, could you tell me like by what percentage? Very nice, Joel. Could you tell me by what percentage or like how many, what job they were there to do?
I said all these things are not documented because these things was sent. You know, I don't know where the documents at. I wasn't there. I just these are facts. Do you know Menelik owned railroads in America?
Again, I was never taught that, and I would need to see some kind of.
Because you made many allegations of what you thought we was doing, right? You say we are daydreaming about facts that we daydreaming about. Like the facts are true, but we daydreaming and just puffing with these things coming out the sky.
That's not necessarily what I said.
Facts. So I'm asking, do you know these facts that we know? Do you know Menelik owned railroads in America? That's a yes or no.
You see, that's a thing where, because I was never taught that, I can't confirm nor deny that happened. If you could give me a primary source, if you could give me a primary source, then maybe I could like be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll take that, like, you know. But you didn't give me a primary source.
But sis, you confirmed to us that there's no East Africans that were taken in the slave trade. So you're telling us that that's a fact, but we're telling us a fact about Ethiopia.
Yeah, because there's and I'm pointing you to a source. I'm pointing you to a source. It's a transatlantic slave record.
Oh, hold on, no. So we was giving you a source just now. You never answered us.
You didn't give me a source. I'm asking for a source.
Because you didn't say if you. I don't like to work for nothing. I don't have to give you a source. If you could have told me, oh, I know about that, so I ain't got to get the source. But if you say no, now I know.
We can accept what people tell us without confirming if that information is true.
Sis, well, what I found out, you scared to say no. You see,
that's not.
You're afraid to.
I'm just scared. I'm not necessarily scared to say no. I'm scared to go along with a narrative if it's not true, because then it's gonna come and bite me in the face. You know.
Well, sis, I'm not asking you to go along with it. I just asked you, did you know? Yo, are you listening to me? I say, sis, did you know Menelik had railroads in America? You never said
Let me
yes
go to my
or
laptop
no.
right now and I'll look it up. I'm just gonna go ahead and look it up because I can't just accept.
So you don't know?
No, currently no. I guess I don't know.
Well, I don't know what's so hard about saying no these days. Everybody, we don't know everything.
Well, you know, we try not to accept things like information given to us from people who, from what I see, like a lot of your information is kind of like all over the place. So, did King Menelik
Africans being slave trade?
Like they didn't take royals. We showing you they took a royal son, a royal child. You think they ain't take no other royal children? He was the only one? Come on, man. History don't tell all details. That's why we don't know. That's why Haile Selassie came over here and gave African Americans.
It says King Menelik, this is the New York Times. King Menelik has investments here. Abyssinia's ruler said to be a heavy buyer of American railway stocks. Has aided his people remarkable progress during the reign. It says that he had railway stocks, but it doesn't say that he sent people to work on railways.
Stocks wasn't set up like
sus.
What
Stocks.
stocks?
The first stocks and bonds were slaves.
People.
I'm gonna put you on the stock and I'm gonna sell you. The first stocks were slaves. So Menelik was sending workers.
Yeah, it wasn't the stock market that
It's
you
not
have
the
now.
modern stock market that you have on your phone.
Yeah, this is not the modern stock market, sis. You know, he had the largest slave population. He owned more slaves than anyone at that moment. So you have to ask yourself, where did he get his slaves at? All over Africa, not just Ethiopia. He used all the resources of that land. That means the people. What do you think stock is?
Okay, let me
That's like
see.
stock. Your livestock is your people.
Was his people.
That's why a lot of Ethiopians don't like Menelik in a way. Menelik was raised by Tedros. Did you know these things?
Yes.
Okay, and Tedros gave him his daughter. But Menelik ran from Tedros. Tedros was trying to set up the natural order. Menelik liked money. So Menelik was the one that sold pieces of Ethiopia so people could come in. So even though all kings was men and did certain good things, they also did some bad things.
So
And if they
what
truly
makes you think, okay, so what makes you think that you are more closely related to like those Ethiopian slaves you mentioned earlier than West African slaves, which is the majority of African American tested DNA comes from like West Africa. So what led you to the conclusion that, oh, I'm probably East African instead of West African, which is the overwhelming data from DNA harvesting sites and stuff like that show that descendants of slaves are probably more than likely majority of their DNA is from West Africa, as long as some Caucasian DNA, because we all know the disgusting history of slavery. So what brought you to that conclusion, and to use like an ancient imperial flag as your representation? Because like you said, like a lot of Ethiopians kind of despise the monarchy because they have subjugated large groups of ethnic minorities, and that imperial flag actually represents like a lot of heartache for a lot of Ethiopian families. So I'm just wondering, like, what makes you so sure that you're a descendant of Ethiopians, and instead of a descendant of the larger makeup of your genetic gene pool, if you're an American born in America, African American?
because I was awakened to restore the throne of David, which is what I descend from. Like I said, a
Wait, I'm
lot of
sorry.
people
Say that one more time.
royalty because I descend from the solomonic lineage. Now, these are people that was going to be awakened to restore what was lost through the Spirit of God.
Would you
Now,
consider
if the
yourself
true
an Israelite?
Ethiopians knew their history, I'm not an Israelite. If the true Ethiopians knew their history, the Bible comes from Ethiopia. Now, the Ethiopian priesthood was going to be in bondage. It was going to be in captivity, according to Bible prophecy. So the biblical people was not going to be in their land. They was going to be in a foreign land. And they was going to be raised up by God so they could return back to their father's land, which is why Haile Selassie tried to give that to us, because he was on the throne and he understood what most Ethiopians didn't understand. Now, what's going on with Haile Selassie? He didn't have the majesty. He was on the throne, but he wasn't the one. But he did do his part. So right now, it's Bible prophecy for a group of people to rise up from a foreign land and go back to their homeland, to restore their homeland. That's why this flag is up here.
That is the basis, that belief is the basis of Zionism, and like how the Israelites like took over that land and are right now subjugating Palestinians. Like that's where a lot of people would actually place that ideology of like coming back to their land. If you guys know about like the Zionist movement after World War II, but as far as
African Americans aren't African and they shouldn't go back to Africa?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just trying to place that idea of like
But
coming back to your homeland
they can't
where
go
it actually
to Africa.
belongs. I'm sorry?
They can't go to Africa though.
You know how many
No, nobody
Americans
said
on
that.
land?
Nobody said that at all. Like, you guys ever heard of Liberia?
Americans that own
But it
land
can't
in
be. But it
Africa,
can't be
all over
Ethiopia.
Africa, all
No,
over Africa.
that's
It
fine. Have you guys heard of Shashamene?
You already talked to them. These Americans
Shashamani,
that
yes,
live
that's
in
we
Ethiopia.
talk about Shashamani. We know that there
So
was free land
They
given
don't talk like
yeah,
to
that no
African
more.
Shashamene is like an area that that Emperor Haile Selassie literally annexed out for people to come back. That's called Pan-Africanism. So
It's
what
not
you guys are
people.
talking
It's
about is Pan-Africanism.
just people. It was African Americans. It
Yes,
wasn't
African
just.
Americans. Predominantly, though, it was actually Jamaicans who took over that land, actually.
But
So
it
now
was
there's a
for.
lot of Rastafarians in Shashamene.
But it was for the African Americans. Do you know where
Yes,
the rest? Do you know where the Rastafarians came from?
from Jamaica.
Do you know all Rastafarians didn't come from Jamaica?
When you guys say stuff like that, you guys are gonna have to give me sources.
I'm okay. My parents are from St. Vincent. It's a Caribbean island. It's a small island. There's
Okay.
Rastafarians there that got visas, free visas to go back to Ethiopia, their motherland, their father's land. So it's not only Jamaicans that are Rastafarians.
But also, which I think that's great, but also you guys have to understand, like at the time during Haile Selassie's reign, Ethiopia was kind of one of the only stable African countries, like if you even call it that, if you even want to call it stable, right? So like Ethiopia was one of the more stable. It was still wasn't stable. There were still Ethiopians selling other Ethiopians into slavery for sure, but at the time we
But
had
but here you just saying that there was Ethiopians that sold other Ethiopians for slavery, but there's no Ethiopians that can come back to their homeland, which is
no,
Ethiopia.
you guys are completely misunderstanding my point. I'm not saying that there's no Ethiopians that's like out there that came through slave trade, whatever. I'm saying that to say that it was at a scale where somebody could like be like, oh, my DNA is definitely from this side of Africa instead of this side. That's like that is
Oh, so how
implausible to me personally.
are Americans supposed to know where they come from? We
Nobody's
supposed to
saying that. I
know it
mean, you guys,
colonizer?
nobody. For the record, I've had conversations with a lot of African Americans about this, and they say, "Oh, I'm from California. I'm from New Orleans. I'm from whatever." That's fine. Like nobody is trying to put you guys one way or another. But what you guys are doing right now, even if you said, "Oh, I think that my ancestry is Ethiopian because I'm from like this island in the Caribbean and this and that," that's perfectly fine. But what you guys are doing right now is you guys are trying to take a history that Ethiopians have been taught and are very proud of, that like cemented in our history books, and you guys are trying to like flip it in a way, like take certain aspects that are true but try to bring it to your own narrative, which is it's lost upon me why anybody would want to do that. The last thing I would want to do is is tell another group of people that, oh, I actually belong in your, especially because like even with the whole Christianity thing, like we know where Christianity came from. Christianity came from 400 BC, came from Egypt. That's why all of our priests, up until a certain time, all of our Ethiopian Orthodox priests were actually ordained by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in Egypt. So like Christianity came to Ethiopia after it came to Egypt, and then we established the
Okay, so
Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Come from Ethiopia, but y'all look into Egypt. Y'all look into
No,
Egypt to
it's not. No, it's not looking to Egypt. It's if you understand the way that religion is spread throughout the world, it
religion is
goes
not about
usually.
the Bible's not a religious book.
we not religion.
We're not religion. This is why you can't connect this to no Zionist movement
Or no
or
Orthodox or
no
no
religious
Christian
nothing.
or no Muslim. All of those are false. Those are man-made. That's not even how the solomonic dynasty was set up. It wasn't set up by religion.
There she go assuming again.
It was not. It was not. I don't. I okay. I guess you're right that it wasn't set up by religion, but it was definitely set up on like the basis of like Israel's supremacy, Jewish supremacy, kind of like a you know.
It
That's
Was
why
was
it?
set
there's a
up
star.
by
That's
it
why there
was
are stars of David's on the
it,
flags behind you.
it was set up by chief and Indians. You always have a leader. That's why you have the solomonic dynasty. That's why you have a throne. Someone sits on the throne that's over the people. That's it. It's not about a whole government. That's why you guys are colonized, because you guys have a government. You don't have a throne anymore.
What? No. No. That's wrong.
Well, sis, I want to ask you
So
this.
how did it? So how it
Sis,
end?
I want to ask you this. Do you know anything about the throne of David?
The throne of David as written in the Bible?
No, as the throne of David, as in you know Ethiopia got a throne that's empty, right? You know that Ethiopia got a throne that's empty.
The during the I mean, we have a lot of empty Simbel. We have a lot of empty
No, I'm
castles.
not you ain't got to go into no long teaching, no long saying. I'm just telling you about an empty throne that's in Ethiopia. Do you know about it?
There's a lot of empty thrones because we have a lot of empty palaces. So which one are you talking about?
The throne of David, the solomonic dynasty throne.
That's where all
The
them
Solomonic dynasty didn't start with David. It started with It started with King Menelik.
What
It
you
started with
said?
King Menelik. The Solomonic dynasty didn't start with King David. It started with King Menelik.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, you could correct. Well, the throne that these people of the dynasty sit on. Do you know anything about it?
You would have to again explain this to me, because what you're saying is like there's a throne. Yes, there's a throne. There's a lot of thrones. Every king built his own palace.
Okay, no. Like when Menelik built his palace, Menelik sat on the throne.
You have to say
Everybody
Menelik the first and Menelik the second, by the way. You have to say Menelik the first and Menelik the second.
Menelik the second, Haile Selassie, Johannes, they all sat on the same throne, but at different times, because everybody don't sit on that throne at one time. Like King Awalo, while Menelik was on the throne, King Wallo didn't sit on the throne. Now King Wallo he was a chief of his own army, but he wasn't on the throne. Do you know who King Wallo
there's
is?
the emperor. Yeah, there's the emperor, and then there's regents above, like over certain regions.
Okay. So the emperor is the one that's over the regions.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the throne. There's only one throne in Ethiopia.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
But you say it was multiple thrones.
And that throne was destroyed, by the way. That throne was destroyed when the communist regime came and like took over everything, killed the king.
Who came in? Who came? Who came in and destroyed it?
Mengistu Haile Mariam.
No, who you said at first came in?
Mengistu Haile Mariam with his communist regime, the Dark.
Okay, a communist came and destroyed an ancient throne that governed all the regions of Ethiopia and were African and Asiatic nations. The throne of David governs Africa and Asiatic nations. So why did the communists come in and take it away?
Well, because there was massive wealth inequality in the land. There was, we were under a feudal system. Many people were unhappy. Many people were unhoused. There was famine in many parts of the region, and it was easy for a socialist leader, just like in Germany, like the rise of Hitler. When people are disenfranchised in a country, it's very easy for them to kind of reject the past, and they were tired of seeing Emperor Haile Selassie living lavishly, visiting other countries, talking about how much Ethiopia has developed and how good Ethiopia is, when people are living in serfdom. People are, working the fields and having to give 2/3 of their yield to their masters and stuff like that. There was a lot of problems during that time that allowed for Mengistu Haile Mariam and a communist Derg regime to come and kind of take over everything. And then and then after that, we had the Hadik government, which is the Democratic Republic, and then now we have a different form of government, which is still Democratic Republic.
But I'm saying, why Ethiopia ain't been progressing? Why it's been decreasing since the throne left if the communists came in and fixed the problem?
The communists didn't come and fix the problem.
Okay, so if they did come to fix the problem, what did they do? They made it worse, right?
They didn't necessarily make it worse, but they kind of made Ethiopia stagnant in a period of like no growth, no elevation, while they were trying to restructure the economy to make it more equitable for the citizens.
What I see here.
Why and Ethiopia have the same government? Why would they still have the same type of government setup? Before they were
now we have a democratic republic.
Ethiopia is on the same setup as the colonizer.
She just said they didn't grow. So if you didn't grow, that made it worse because most people think like Ethiopia is proud. Proud of what?
There's a
What
lot
the
of things to
now
be. There's a lot of
now
things
now
to be
now,
proud
now
of.
hold up, sister. I want to say this. Now, Ethiopians do have a strong history, but when I'm talking to these Ethiopians, they don't even acknowledge their true strong history. The strength was in the throne. That's where the strength of Ethiopia lies. When you had the leader who's sitting on the throne in the imperial majesty of God, I mean of righteousness, of true justice. So you don't have that. You got a bunch of people who don't care about Ethiopian history. They don't care about the
No,
throne, and they don't care
you
about the
guys,
people.
you guys. This is the point, though. The reason why a lot of people have an issue with the monarchy in general is because a lot of families were disenfranchised. A lot of people were starving. A lot of people were poor. A lot of people were in serfdoms. You guys know what a feudal government, what a feudal. Stop. Do you guys know what a feudal system looks like? Where there's like a lord, and then he has serfs who work under him, who work his land, have to give him 2/3 of the yield. That's the kind of the Ethiopian people were in during the imperial time. So that's why a lot of Ethiopians have an issue with the monarchy. Like that's not because, and I'm not saying that our monarchy or our emperors aren't something to be proud of. That we were just like, you know, like lead colonization, or like we were
To the government.
to have our history, to have our language, to have even a different alphabet than people. Like that's great, but at the same time, like we needed reform. We needed reform. We couldn't keep living under these conditions where an emperor and his cronies and the nobles were taking advantage of an entire country of people who were just poor. Their only crime was being born poor. So that's why now a democratic republic is more equitable for people, because we have more of a say of how government is run.
Because everything you're saying is happening right now. The government is taking advantage of the people. Ethiopia should be thriving way more than what it is. So you have people that's on top taking advantage of the people at the bottom. Ain't nothing changed, sis. You just said it. Nothing has
I think it's
changed.
more. I
The
think it's
same
more
thing is
equitable.
going on. We finna move on. But the same thing is going on. They just don't have nobody that's worthy to sit on the throne because they not righteous. You know, they don't know enough.
No, we don't
They don't
want a
have the
monarchy.
so they're
The
not
people don't
able.
want a
They're not,
monarchy.
and they are not worthy. They are not able, and they are not worthy to sit on that throne. But right now in the earth, prophecy let you know someone was gonna rise up and restore what was fallen, and that was gonna be the conquering lion. So
I
right
really hope that
now,
doesn't
this
happen. I
conquering
really
lion
hope,
that
as
you
an
see right here,
Ethiopian that was born in Ethiopia, I really hope that
because
we don't have another monarch.
because you want to talk. For one thing, sis, like I say, y'all don't want to hold a conversation and really see where somebody is coming from. Y'all come up here telling us we are part of religion, what we doing, coming out the clouds, and you don't know nothing that we know. But yet we ask y'all questions to see what you know. But y'all don't even want to answer. That's how I know you don't want to have a conversation. You just want to come up here and talk. This ain't what this platform for. We come up
I
here to
tried
unify
to
with
work
our
with
brothers,
y'all.
build, and move forward. No, you don't. You want to talk while I'm talking. You know.
I tried to
Now
work with
you
y'all, but y'all just are not accepting the
you
realities.
you
Y'all
are
are.
not still talking. You want me to be quiet. See, you want me to be quiet when you do something. And not on this one. You know. So we talked to you long enough. We hope you got enough of where we coming from, and maybe you will hearken to see where we coming from. You know. But if not, you know, the few gonna come because that's what we call it. Not the many. It's only a few chosen. So thank you for coming up.
Thanks for coming up.
You know, people talk in circles just to be heard. Like, we're not up here to be heard. You know, we up here to get the job done. That's why you see us up here. Not just to be heard. We here to get the job done. People got to understand that.
We need money, not people. People make people. You ain't gonna get money without people.
Somebody got to print the money, huh?
Fred, are you there? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I just can't see you.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. Ethiopia, Ethiopian people, they are the best people in the world.
What?
Can
Who
you hear
people?
me?
You
They
said
are
someone.
they are the best people in the world. The Ethiopian people, they're the best people in the world. I
Okay.
respect you guys. I respect you a lot. I respect you a lot. And what you're doing is, it's a good thing you're doing. You're letting the people know what's going on over there in Africa. But let me ask you something. Most Ethiopians, they go to Yemen, right?
Yemen?
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't they together before? Yemen.
I mean,
Aren't they? No, they're in war right now.
most of Yemenis, they go to Ethiopia and they live there too.
Okay.
You don't know that?
Well, now, like we're in America.
Oh, you're in America?
Yeah, we are in America.
Yeah, but in America, they don't tell you the whole story what's going on. But let me tell you something. The slave owner, they were Jews. The slaves owners in the United States, they were Jew. They used to bring all the black people from Africa. The owners of the slaves, they were Jew. If you find out the truth, that's what it is.
Yeah, but like right now, a lot of people just have took on the name Jew.
Yeah.
They not the original. That's why they have just took on these customs because of the
Yeah.
religion. That's like right now, people say I'm a Christian. That's
Yeah.
because religion is set up where anybody can join and become a Christian. So the Jews was actually just set up, and people
Yes.
just
Listen to me.
started.
The Bible is the
People,
Bible.
that's what
It's the
real people.
Bible. The Bible.
But the real people that were supposed to return back home was the African Americans.
Yeah. This.
These was the people. In 1948, the same time the fake Jews went home, Haile Selassie was calling African Americans to come back home to rebuild. But
Right.
y'all don't see
Right.
the you think white Jews went. That was the lie. That was the stop who? The African Americans.
But let me tell you something. They're using the Ethiopian Jews right now in Israel. They don't treat them right. You understand? They don't treat them right in Israel. Okay. And then another thing, the Israeli they thinking a big time. They're talking about Egypt. They wanna build their kingdom in Egypt actually. Because Moses, during Moses' time, they were in Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? So all the tribes they were there in Egypt. So they wanna go back to Egypt. That's what they're thinking about.
Well,
They're
yeah,
not
we understand.
they're not thinking about Palestine. They're not thinking about Palestine.
I know. That's why I say, man, we understand that to be a lot of spiritual teachers. But so when you go into all that, that's a whole nother conversation. But do you have any question for us?
You just keep saying what you're saying. Keep
Okay.
telling the truth. That's all I'm telling you. Keep telling the truth. You're telling the truth. You know. Just keep doing that. Okay. Take care, my friend.
Peace. Thanks for coming up.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Come get you. All right. So you got a carload full, so I got okay in the Choctaw. Right here, Caden, Choctaw. Coming out about the thing. They coming out to Choctaw. Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. All right. All right. He ain't really got to. Sure. Yeah, he just going. It's right there. It's the tax service right there by CVS. Where you see you got all the people. Okay. Yeah, I like. Can you have this process?
You know, Johnstown?
I'll bring up the next person. No, I stopped. Probably not there. Peace, peace. You have yourself muted. Johan? Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Hello?
Peace.
Hello?
Hello. Hear us? There we go.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. We can hear you. We can see you.
Yeah, how you doing?
We're good. We're good.
I'm calling from Addis. I'm sorry, my English is a bit broken, so just to give you ahead of time.
Okay.
So I don't know how to say. I really appreciate you guys because I don't know for how long you guys I don't know. It's like so many years to figure this out. I mean, this is like the topic. I was waiting for long period of time. Like just give you. I mean, ask you a question. How come you guys raised this issue long time ago?
Why haven't we raised the issue
Yeah,
a
I
long
mean,
time ago?
yeah, just I know the Rastafarians, they have a history in our land, you know. Hello?
Y'all been doing this for like at least 5 years.
No,
Probably more than
I
that.
respect that. I highly encourage you to keep, create this awareness in the future, and make sure do not stop, fight for it, until you get land, you get your land. This is I don't know. This is the best topic I never, ever, ever heard, you know. I know you guys have a land. I know the history. You guys have a land in Shashamane, in Oromia region. It's a majority of the land is run by the Rastafarians, you know, the Jamaicans. It's not only Jamaicans, you know, all the Caribbeans, you know, when we say like Rastafarians, it's not only Jamaicans, you know, there are countries in Caribbean, you know. Those are
Right.
the people in Ethiopia. You guys like, you know, the indigenous, you know. Make sure when you come in Ethiopia, I'm the first one to welcome you at the Ethiopian Airlines, you know, at the airport, okay? Let us know ahead of time. I can, you know, like regroup a people for you guys, and then we have to take you to where your land is located. So you can, you guys make sure you have to claim that land. You know, still waiting for you guys. I don't know why it took you for a
I
long
followed
period of time. Hello?
I followed back, so if
Hello?
we can keep in touch.
Hello?
Yeah, I said I followed you back, so we can keep in touch.
Yeah, yeah. Keep following me, and then for anything, just let me know ahead of time. I can rearrange for you guys. Okay?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. No problem. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.